Nebraska. This is Training Blend, the official podcast of the State of Nebraska Training and Development Team. We'd like to welcome you to episode number 4, and we have a very special guest today. But before we get started, I want to introduce you to everyone who's with us today. Dovey.
Hello.
Katie.
Hey there.
And Mary Beth.
Hi.
And on the phone with us is Renee.
Hello.
All right. And our very special guest today is Amber Brannigan. Amber, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, for having me here today.
We are excited to have you here today. Before we get started with our questions that you know about, we have hot seat questions for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Answer as quickly as possible. Don't think about it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
What is your spirit animal?
A fox.
Ooh.
Drive or fly?
Fly.
Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
What's your favorite place to eat in Lincoln?
Kapal.
Ooh, that's a New Mexican restaurant, right?
Yeah, right on 48th and Pioneers.
Pioneer?
Really good
Tasty.
things about that place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mango margarita.
Pumpkin spice or apple cider?
Ooh, neither.
Oh.
I can't. Yeah, sorry.
Favorite season?
Fall.
All right.
Country or city?
City.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
What's your favorite vacation spot?
I'm actually going there in 2 weeks. It's in Ensenada, Mexico. It's grape time, and so I'm going down for the harvest. They pay me in room and board and wine, so I pick grapes all day. It's a great time.
And we're going along.
You're going to have to send that link out once we're done here.
Absolutely.
Next Training Blend podcast on location.
There we go.
Amber, favorite smell?
Lilacs.
What are you reading or listening to lately?
I have been listening. I got a secret ticket to the Lizzo show a couple weeks ago, and I really had no idea who she was, and so I've been listening to a ton of Lizzo right now. It was
Fabulous.
full of sweet music and girl power. It was an amazing show. So
I'm shocked you didn't know who Lizzo was before this. So.
I'm not living right apparently. I just didn't
You're
know.
getting there. You're getting there.
Thank you.
All right, last one. Make, model, and color of your first car.
1984 baby blue Cadillac Eldorado.
Whoa.
I could
Cool
fit like
car.
15 people in that car. It was amazing.
Well, you passed. Thank you for playing with us.
Yes, thank you for the speed round, ladies.
All right. Amber, we're just, again, very happy that you could join us today. Your role is State Building Administrator, correct?
Yep.
Why don't you tell us about that? What's your favorite part of your job?
You know, I would have to say my favorite part of the job is working with the other agencies. Just the opportunity to sort of see what they do hands-on and learn how they benefit the community and benefit the people that we work with and for, and the idea that we have in our little part of controlling space or access or availability helps them do their job better is just really rewarding. So that would be my favorite part.
How did you get to your role? From your 1988 Eldorado to where you are today, how has your career progressed and got you to where you are now?
A bit of a meandering path. I actually started as a theater major at Shattern State. Met with my advisor right before my junior year and said, well, what can I do with my theater degree? And she said, lights in Vegas? And I said, well, that's not what I want to do. And during that time, my parents had moved to Hastings, Nebraska, and so I'd gone home for the summer and decided to transfer to Hastings College. Met with some folks down there, and my advisor was, interestingly enough, a part of the economics department. And just a very intelligent person, and so I switched my major. Moved to Lincoln after graduation and got involved in international logistics. Great time, did a lot of traveling, had the opportunity to see a lot of places in the world, and then 2009 hit. So went back to school, got my master's degree, and started with the university, and was there for about 4 or 5 years, and then came here and joined the state just almost 3 years ago. So it's been an exciting journey thus far.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's a long ways from lights in Vegas.
I would agree with you. Absolutely, yes.
What kind of things do you like to do outside of work?
I like to try new things. So I like to check out new restaurants. A few weeks ago, we went and checked out the new zip lines and things that they have put out at Schramm Park in Gretna. If you haven't had the opportunity to go check that out before it gets too cold, definitely go do that.
I've heard about them.
Absolutely, yeah, totally cool. We like to cook new meals together. My daughter is 10 and considers herself a baker. She's much more of a decorator than a baker, so I am quickly becoming more of a scientist in the kitchen, which is an unknown requirement for baking. Getting better each time. And sometimes, we're binge watching Netflix or
Perfect.
right, playing Mario Kart. So kind of the gamut. So that's what I do in my free time.
Who do you choose when you play Mario Kart?
Oh man, I'm gonna say his name wrong. Waluigi, or the bad guy, the green, Luigi's bad guy. I don't know why. I love his laugh.
He's the big, tall, purple dude,
The
right?
skinny, right? Yes, yeah, absolutely. Waluigi or whatever.
We make up our own names.
Yes, you know who
People
I'm
will be
talking
correcting
about.
us in comments, but
That's okay.
So, what can you tell us about the building that's going to go over the new geothermal? And we heard that there were some artifacts that were found underneath. Can you tell us about that?
I did not know anything about said artifacts until I saw this question. And every Indiana Jones Spidey sense I have wants me to call Bob Ripley and find out what's going on. So I would say to that, to be continued. As it relates to the building that we're considering going above that geothermal well field, right now we are in schematic design. We're very excited about the opportunity to address some long-term needs for the state, which include parking and include affordable rental rates. And so we're hopeful that this allows us to address those two issues, but we should wrap up schematic design. We're hoping mid-October, and then we'll go present that information in front of our budget committee, and hopefully they are as impressed as we have been thus far going through the process. Awesome. Fingers crossed it continues to move forward.
So more to come.
More to come, absolutely.
How does the process kind of continue after that, after you talk to budget? What are the next steps?
Well, we'll have to receive approval from the budget committee. The interesting thing about this project is it would be a new funding vehicle for the state. And that is called a P3 concept, which is just a public-private partnership. And it's new to the state of Nebraska, but not new to the university or the city of Lincoln. And so it's something that has been done in the area prior to, but we're just kind of jumping on board with that. And really what that means is that we would partner with a local developer to build a building on state-owned property and then participate in what could be explained as a buyback program. That would allow us to get the building built, not raise tax dollars, nor have to cut any programs that we're currently supporting with the budget system that we have in place.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, we're very excited about it. We're hopeful that everyone sees the opportunity there as well.
Is this a new way of looking at projects, or have we done this before?
The state of Nebraska has not done this before, but I don't know if you're familiar with the 50-50 building on UNL campus. That was done using a P3 concept. The city of Lincoln has also done that, and I'm going to, the name of the building escapes me that they've worked on that, but so again, not a new idea by any stretch, and I think that's why we have such a great opportunity to move forward, because it's been vetted. People know what to do and what to expect, and we are able to take the best of those ideas and present them to our leadership teams and have every expectation of success now and long into the future.
Recently, there was a consolidation of services effort to bring all building resources under DAS Building Division. What was the most important thing you learned from that consolidation effort?
That is a great question. I would say that I have two takeaways from that consolidation. The first one is communicate often and communicate early. Talk to the team members, talk to the leaderships, teams that you're trying to partner with. Make sure that you have clear expectations as to who's doing work and when that work needs to be performed so the buildings are protected and the programs continue to move forward. I would say the second thing I learned, which is probably the most important, is that the men and women that we have working in our facilities are amazing. they get very little recognition or acknowledgement until there's a problem. But they are the ones that ensure our buildings are clean and warm and safe, and that our programs are able to continue to move forward when we're busy doing the day-to-day stuff that we need to do. So I think that the opportunity to work with those team members and talk about the opportunities that we have to improve the way we work with them and the way that we work with our agencies, and just having that perspective that I think sometimes at my level we can lose focus on, was just a very humbling and amazing experience. So they're a great group of folks.
Okay, my favorite question is, tell us something about you that we may be surprised to learn.
I mentioned earlier that I like to try new things. And I think this is my best friend trying to get me to purchase her motorcycle. But I've recently started to learn how to ride a bike, but still very nervous, right? Very nervous, but it's very exciting too. So I may be a motorcycle rider here by next spring.
Whoa.
We shall see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Have
right?
you ridden on a motorcycle before?
Down the street is about as far as I made it, in a very quiet residential neighborhood after 8 o'clock when everyone's inside.
And that was just riding, not driving?
Yeah. Well, I've ridden on one, yes,
Okay.
but it's harder than it looks, and there's a lot of things and
They're kind of heavy.
all of it, all of
It's
those
kinda
things
heavy.
that you just don't expect. But yeah, so I am learning to ride a motorcycle right now. But I've only gone out a couple times, but it's something I can definitely see myself continuing to do.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So, Amber, for our listeners that may not be completely familiar with exactly what State Building Division does and what the Administrator of State Building Division does, could you give everybody a brief overview of what your job entails and what the State Building Division does every day?
Absolutely. Well, State Building Division is an interesting business unit within DAS. We manage all of the capital construction projects, all of the facilities maintenance, all of the parking requests, all of the space design needs, and all of the state and commercial leases that we have, with the exception of DOT, corrections, and game and parks. And so we really work statewide with all of the agencies addressing the space that they do work in. So that's really, again, led us to the opportunity to touch base with a lot of people. And really, as far as my role, I try to keep the sidewalk clean so the men and women that work can get the work done. We're highly focused operationally, and so we work to make sure that the contracts and the POs and the policies are in place to allow these individuals to serve our agencies to the best of their ability.
So everything from a work order that I may put in because my office is too cold
Absolutely.
to building a new building.
To the Central Nebraska Vets Home.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. So from overflowing toilets to the Central Nebraska Vets Home.
Yep.
And everything in between.
Everything.
That's a big job. Thank you for
no.
doing that.
Absolutely.
Work with a great group of folks. So.
We'll be looking forward to hearing more about the building that's going over the geothermal.
On the parking stalls.
Yes.
And the artifacts.
I mean, let's be
yes.
honest. We want to know
But
about
we
the
what about
parking.
artifacts and parking stalls? I got you, ladies.
All
Come on.
right. Great. Well, thanks a lot, Amber.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Training Blend. We release new episodes of this podcast monthly. Make sure you follow us at Any State Training on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and State of Nebraska Training and Development on LinkedIn to make sure you don't miss a single